And she goes, I was talking to my kids and I just said, how's your battery? And I was like, wait, what? And she goes, well, I said, how's your battery? I said, why? And she said, well, if I ask them how they're doing, I get the plain fine. And because they're kids, they're just like, I'm fine. But if I ask them like, how's your battery? They're like, well, it's at like 50%. Or so you may need a snack because they're little. Or it's at 75%. She's like, oh, you're okay. Or sometimes they're at 25% and they just need something, to decompress. While we were talking about it, a light bulb just went out. And that light bulb that went on was about like, she took something that at times can be charged, and she took something and really simplified in a way that I think we would all understand, regardless of age. And I asked her, I was like, can I run with that? And she was like, yeah, sure, whatever, right? And we still laugh about it, Brenda and I, because she's like, wow, you actually took it. And I was like, yeah, I used it as a theme. I talk about it. I go to clients, I'll go out, and it just kind of resonates with people because it's simple and it doesn't kind of draw out any emotions. It just says like, hey, how's your battery? How are you feeling? And I think that sometimes that gets lost because we try to make it bigger sometimes than it is. And it's really nice when you can kind of just simplify it and just ask you, how's your battery? How you doing?
I love the question, how's your battery, even more than how you doing, like you said, because I think sometimes I think you also mentioned that we can scale everything up to a 10.
That's right.
So everything can feel like it's a 10, it's the worst. Or everything can feel like, oh, it's just plain old fine.
That's right.
And then you don't have much to play with. Whereas when you get a number, walk us through the different breakdowns as you do in the book.
Yeah.
Because I think when you look at 0 to 100, we're very good at feeling 0 and maybe 100, right? Like if it's your kid's wedding, chances are you'll be at 100. If it's like your kid's birthday, like you're at 100. Like there's these joyful, 100%. Blissful moments in life that people experience and we go, yeah, that was 100 moment. And then we all know what a 0 moment feels like. You lost a loved one who sadly passed away. You lost your job. Like there's these very 0 moments. Walk us through how you break down the 0 to 100.
Yeah, and I try to do it really simply. I have found, and I'll talk about my own kids at times. When I ask them that question, how their battery is, I notice that they check, like most people, they check their phones quite often. And at some point, it just becomes like a reflex. And they don't even know they're checking it.